When Chris Bassitt joined the Mets, it was a sneaky offseason addition. He didn't sneak up on anybody this year because you pitch as well as he did in a market like New York, and you are now a known commodity. One of the many known commodities that appears in the transactions column for this year's Toronto Blue Jays. Speaking of 2023, of course. Additions, Bassitt along with Kevin Kiermaier, Eric Swanson, Adam Macko. The subtractions are notable as well. Raimel Tapia was a contributor there, as was Bradley Zimmer, Ross Stripling, of course, and Teoscar Hernandez is now property of the Seattle Mariners. So let's talk about the Jays a little bit. This is kind of an offseason ritual that we're used to talking about in Toronto. They have slowly been adding talent to the war chest, whether it's George Springer, last year Matt Chapman among the big ads, this year Chris Bassitt. This has to be a finished piece at this point to try to contend for a World Series title and not bow out in a wild card round.
Well, I think it's the if you look at, remember the COVID season, and they were playing all over the place, and then they came back the next year similar. But that club, we could see the signs of, wow, they're really talented, all the young players and everything else. And they kind of got ahead of themselves. At least we did for them.
Yeah, we did. You're right. I think the expectations were too big.
Yeah, and so now I think this is right where they wanted to be. That they're building it to the point where I think they'll be really competitive, and they're looking for a postseason long run with this club. The Bassitt thing, as I think about that, real interesting with the pitch rule, with the pitch clock, because this guy can take his time forever overthinking a pitch. I just thought Steve Phillips was dead on, and JP shared that. This will be one of the guys I have to have my eye on to see if he gets penalized or how he pitches with this new clock.
Well, I mean, the rotation options are really deep, and the key guy for me, because I feel like you know what you're going to get with Manoah, Gausman, and Bassitt. Kikuchi, I don't like saying disappointed, but he was not what he was in Seattle. The guy for me is Barrios. What happened last year? His home road splits were way out of whack.
He's been like that his whole career. I think we got way out on him early.
I didn't feel like it was unfair expectation for him to be a big winner in Toronto, but his home road splits were hard to imagine. The slider, his signature pitch, just wasn't as good for him as it was in Minnesota those years. He's the key guy for me. You think it's Kikuchi for the rotation?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you got to have that left-hander. It's got to neutralize. He didn't pitch well either.
Right.
For a consistent full year.
Right.
But I do believe if they're pitching hits, like they're expecting this group to pitch and hold together, they've got a real shot of winning that American League East.
They miss Ryu, man. If, Ryu's Tommy John surgery were to have taken place before June, maybe there's a chance he pitches next year, but I think they held out in hopes that he could come back.
That's a big miss.
TJ, he's probably not going to pitch in 2020.
But I'll tell you what, look at the American League East. Boston, not liking what they're doing right now. The Yankees, you brought back Judge, but have you changed the team? You start looking at...
They're going to be better with a full season of Harrison Bader.
They'll be better, but who's going to pitch? That's still the question mark for the Yankees, is the pitching. And I know it came on. Severino threw the ball pretty good. They had some guys settle in. But it's not like we just got through talking about the National League East pitching rotations. It's nothing like the NL. Nothing like what Toronto's put together, I think, as a collective group.
Let me ask you one question. If Rodon signs with the Yankees, and
changes everything.
Are they as good as the Jays?
Yes, that changes everything.
I agree with you, too.
This guy changed the whole direction of the Yankees season.
But we talked about...
He could, D-Row.
But Boston being down, the Yankees, we're trying to figure out where they're at. Toronto's right here of star power. And you got the Baltimore Orioles coming out of nowhere. So I think Toronto almost is a team to beat in that division.
That's not an unfair statement. Let's take a break.
Tampa?
Yeah, Bassitt signing's big.